quick housekeeping. If we've released this and the live chat hasn't happened, then join us on Monday, October 4th, 8 p.m. Central Time to talk about everything that we encountered last weekend at the First Mile event. We also have great stuff coming still from that, which is the plant tour and a word about the Rivian culture and team. And so subscribe if you want to hear that. The goal here is to talk about storage on the R1T. There's a lot of storage. We get a lot of questions about it. Let's start in the driver position and the storage that's all around you within an arm's reach. Take it away as far as center console. What'd you guys think?
I thought it was more than adequate for anything I would ever want to put in there, whether it's a MacBook Air. I think even something a little bigger, maybe a 15 or 16-inch laptop would easily fit in that compartment. But I could see a use case where I could put, some bigger items down in there. There's USBs down there for charging, and just kind of tuck them out of the way. That way they're not flying all over the cabin.
Yep. I'm going to give Skylar the next one, which is under the seat. But to go there, I'm still going to mention one thing about the center console. You push a button in front, both doors open. And at once. Skylar made the great point that because of that, if a passenger had their elbow on one, I doubt that it's going to overcome their arm and you just have one of those French doors open, which is you do go down from there and there's just kind of like an open area where you can put a bag, which counts as storage to me, especially because it's a great place to put a bag. We've seen pictures of that even with a bag, and that's great storage. A lot of space there, a lot of aftermarket storage could happen there. 2 cup holders, as we know, press one button, they pop out as well. More sturdy than they look like at first glance in a picture. But then take us to the famed under seat drawer. Skylar, take it away.
So they're small. They're more like a hinged compartment. I wouldn't even call it a drawer. So it pops open kind of similar to a traditional glove box, but it's not very deep. It's not very wide, I guess you could say. And just like we said yesterday, I mean, maybe some insurance and registration paperwork, a pair of Whopper Junior gloves, or maybe even full-size man gloves folded in half. Would fit in there.
Yeah, I fit this phone in here, 12 Max Pro Plus, and then I could barely close it. So it's about that deep here. And Nikki fit hers in there with a slightly bigger case, and not a huge bulky OtterBox, but slightly bigger. It got stuck in there and called 911. So this is how deep it is right here. True story. We're not making that up.
Yeah. No. So if you have a chunky phone case, don't put it in there.
Don't shove it in.
It might call the cops. And then they'll call back, by the way.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
And then you have in front the storage on the door compartments. First reactions to that?
I immediately think of our good buddy Mafro on this one. He was worried about them rattling and making noises and getting worn out. Those things are sturdy. I don't, you'll get an Nalgene bottle mirror like they show in the pictures. There's a bunch of other things I'm sure that you could put in there. But they will definitely hold your gear in that door.
Yeah.
And they won't rattle. Well, they themselves won't rattle. Maybe the stuff that you put in there might rattle. But it was nicely designed, but it definitely required you to pull with a decent amount of force to really open up that area to get something in there.
Same thing in the rear doors, except the available space in those was really pretty small.
Yeah. Then let's go to like the big star of the show, interior storage, which is under the seat.
I mean, I loved it. It honestly, I didn't notice it until Skylar, Nikki, and I were at the airport, but it's got grooves for a divider set. As I mentioned earlier, one of the things that I keep in my car is clean microfiber towels and some car detailing sprays. To me, that's going to be a great spot for it right there underneath the seat. Just set the dividers in, or if I've got to make a divider, then I make one. but just a nice open area. And I thought it was nice too, even on the 60/40 side of the bench, the 40 side of the 60/40 bench. When you opened it up, yeah, you had the subwoofer right there, but you still had about 4 to 6 inches worth of room to get down into that cubby without having to maybe inconvenience a passenger that might be sitting there. Or if you've got car seats in the vehicle, you wouldn't have to take the car seat out just to be able to access that storage area.
A hard interior with that, easy to clean. Anything else that we want to highlight with that? If not, then we have to go to 2 other huge places of storage, which is a gear tunnel and a truck bed. It's obviously a great space that you can accessorize it. You can fit a camp kitchen. There's probably going to be more accessories in the future. You could leave it open, full of grown adult men could crawl through it. What else about the gear tunnel?
Gear shuttle is really, really cool.
Yep.
So if I was R1T as opposed to R1S, I would definitely have the gear shuttle, even if I didn't have the full camp kitchen. The other thing that I will mention about this, and I know that we talked about it the other day, but we drove one of the trucks that had the full camp kitchen in it off-road, and even none of that rattled. Or made any noise. I mean, they've done everything right in regard to the gear tunnel, I think.
Yep. That it would be a great accessory, the shuttle. It also has lights in there. It also has an emergency unlock if you're stuck in there. It also has a pass-through. What'd you say, Skylar?
Yeah, it's got 2 of those.
Yeah, one on each side.
And then it has a pass-through to the second row. And by the way, we missed that. The second row, there is like a divider that flips down with 2 cup holders and then a little bit of storage back behind there that you could fit something thin in, like Kleenexes or something like that would be a good spot for all that. Crayons for the kids. But gear tunnel is a hero piece of the R1T, and it's super.
It is. I mean, even if you're not planning on getting the camp kitchen, I would consider anybody that's getting the R1T to get the shuttle. And I'm assuming you can get the shuttle later if you don't want to add it to your configuration at time of purchase. But just the utility that you'll get out of that shuttle and what accessories may come down the pipe that aren't camping or, like camp kitchen specific or camping specific, that could just be really cool that you might find usable for you. I would definitely consider getting that gear shuttle just because of what they may or may not have coming down the pipe.
To try and get Jimmy to his phone call and go to the last portion of storage, which is the truck bed, there are a lot of highlights we could go over. One of you guys kind of take it away.
I know for me, I'm getting the spare tire. And do I need the spare tire in there all the time? No. But the utility of having that extra space and being able to store a tire there versus under the vehicle, I actually prefer it in the bed. Again, I'm the type of person, I don't have a bunch of crap in my bed all the time. I keep a fairly clean vehicle, so having the spare tire there doesn't make it difficult for me. But then if I wanted to take it out and I wanted to go tailgating it and watch the Jacksonville Jaguars lose, I can fill it up with ice, drinks, and it's a great little spot. And it's got a drain and everything else that you can hose it out, drain it out.
It is a big spot too. I mean, it is, as long as you leave it accessible and like Jimmy said, don't crap the bed, then you should be in great shape.
Yeah. The bed itself, short, but has a lot of accessories on it. We've got 2 power outlets on the back right. On the front left, we have an air compressor. We have the gear guard. We have lights that are built in. We have a great tailgate with a gooseneck feature, which really extends the usable space. Getting to that compartment for the spare tire is awesome. There's a little lever on the left that helps open it. We have a quick release system for the crossbars to go over the bed. If you haven't seen those, if you're like brand new around here, that's a really clever system. And that's about all I can think of for the bed, although we're probably missing something. Who knows?
The tonneau cover.
Yeah, with the push of a button.
Open, close, secure, locked storage for the entire bed.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a number of pickup trucks. I've had every different type of tonneau cover out there, and I will not own a truck now without one.
Another great point that you said the other day is that when there is a crossbar on there and you raise the spare tire cover, it goes all the way up to that crossbar right before it stops, and you can still get everything out without having to take off the crossbar. So
yes, yeah. I mean that cover comes within probably half an inch of the crossbar. So, I mean, once again, just good thought and engineering put into that.
So then that brings us to, you say the best for last, which coming from ICE vehicles, and all of us who've been around following Rivian and other electric vehicles know the term frunk now, but it's a substantial frunk that you can do a lot with. Power open and 2 levels. So there's like a divider or false floor kind of deal that you can bifold up, and then it sticks up via magnets, which really keeps it out of the way and nice and clean and tidy to then make that very deep. The one that I looked at the most had the camp kitchen extended and then the tent to where in the bottom they had, what was it, Jimmy? There was some like pots,
there was
like a Dutch oven.
Yeah, like a Dutch oven, at least the bottom half of a Dutch oven, and some cups, and then the mobile charger that comes with the vehicle and a small first aid kit
Yeah.
down there. And that'd be a great, I mean, for me personally, that's probably where I'm going to store my mobile charger. With us having a level 2 at the house, I won't use it. It's going to be one of those things where I would put some items that I'm rarely going to need, rather not never, but rarely going to need down there. And then just, you can keep it shut.
Yep.
And it's out of the way. And that way you're not reaching all the way to the bottom to put maybe some heavier things in that, you don't want to hurt yourself putting some heavier things in there and having to reach so far, or dropping them into the front.
The more seldom stuff down there, then you put down the divider, and it's still deep for grocery bags and all that kind of stuff. Suitcases, I mean, there's a lot of space. In fact, again, full-grown human beings, men we've seen in these past couple of reviews, like a 6-foot guy can get in there and get shut. I mean, that's how big.
Yeah.
So plenty big. I do want to mention that there's some places that you could hook bags onto so they don't slide around that much. There's 2 lights that face back forward. There's an emergency egress button there as well. Anything
12-volt power.
12-volt power.
12-volt power. Yeah, I mean, that'd be a good spot for you to, before you load up your Dometic fridge that Rivian may or may not eventually sell. You set the fridge in there, you got 12-volt power right there.
Yep.
Then you load it up with your ice and, not ice, but you load up with your snacks, food, drinks, that kind of thing, and go on your adventure.
Yep. Oh, I know one thing we missed. The gear tunnel doors flip down, and then there's storage in the doors.
Yeah,
boom.
Sure enough.
More storage there on both sides. There's a first aid kit in one.
It was the compressor kit, the actual hose, the compressor accessory kit that was in the other door.
The door, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so you got more storage there as well. It all adds up to a ton of storage for pickup truck. And actually, that's probably the main thing that I love about the R1T as opposed to the S, is all that storage that you get with the gear tunnel in the bed.
Yeah.
All that, I think it's awesome for sure.
Yeah. Tons of storage unless you're a hoarder.
Exactly. All right, well, that's a wrap for that one. Thanks for sticking through it, guys. Hopefully that answers some questions. Make sure and subscribe, because we got a plant tour coming to you, some words about the Rivian experience in general with the stations and the people that we met. So we'll see you then.